What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 7 of Ruining Manchester City here on Football Manager. Hopefully you guys are good. Today we're going to be picking off from where we left off. So it's 2019 when we left things last episode, which if you missed, definitely go and watch. But Manchester City were of course relegated from the Championship, having just been promoted, and were in administration. So I guess the first thing to do is look at the league table and see where they are in League 1. So having a look here, Manchester City, well, okay, they won the league. Well, that's disappointing. I was looking for them lower down, hoping they were going to have slipped up, but no, they've bounced straight back up again. They seem to have a weird resilience to League 1. If we look at them here and look at the club, the financial state is rich. If we just look at their finances, they do have a lot of money in the bank, and by a lot of money I mean a lot of money. £407 million still. If we look at the wages here, they've got a lot of the players thanks to the 50% wage rise on £1.5 million a week. However, this is the last season of their contracts. After this year they're going to be expiring, and I know for a fact they're not going to renew them. So suddenly the financial situation of Manchester City that we kind of left them under is no longer going to become a factor, and it'll be interesting to see how they perhaps bounce back with that no longer necessarily an issue. So they won the league. Rosler's still in charge. Rekic, Zuccolini and Ricker Richards still staying there. Let's have a look at their transfers for this last season. How did they go about spending their money, if any? Okay, so they spent £37 million. Wow. I wish I could spend that much. They brought in Jack Cole back on loan, which is quite a funny one. The big transfer here, they actually signed 2 players from Southampton for a combined total of £26 million, doing a bit of a Liverpool hair. So they signed this guy, Holmgren, who is a Swedish player, centre-back, looks quite good actually, so they got him in for £15 million. They signed Richardson, who is a defensive forward from Southampton too. He looks very good also. For 18 years old, he's probably going to carry them for the next few years, unfortunately. I'm just going to put the polygon there so you guys can see it, because I know people like to glance at that to see how good a player is. But yeah, you can see him there looking very good. They also spent money on Alex Pritchard from Leeds. So they've spent some big money here. So they'll probably be quite relieved, Manchester City, to go back, kind of bounce back up, I guess. If we look at the landmarks here, they've established their facilities, which of course got kind of shut down when they went into administration last year. So I guess that's a positive for City. If you look at their managers, Rosler's still in charge. I think he may have been one of the longest serving managers now during this experiment. They really chopped and changed quick, and I didn't even notice it actually. But we did have Dynamo Mamria actually be in charge for 30 days as a caretaker manager before stepping down, and he's still at the club now, so he's doing his duty for the club, trying to stick it out. But looking at it here, City going back up, spending a lot of money. Not too much going on in terms of the players they signed, or any major cup runs, not like before where they just went on a crazy run. So I guess we'll just go forward again, really. It'll be interesting to see how they now cope now that the players who had the ludicrous contracts are no longer there. Going to have to establish themselves as a championship team, but they do have some very good championship quality players. So they probably stand a fairly good chance of coming up, except one minor thing that might come into play is the fact that they're now out of the 3-year period where if a team gets relegated from the Premiership, they are exempt from financial fair play, I think, for 3 years. I think this is either the 4th or 3rd year with outside of the Premier League, so it'll be interesting to see if FFP now becomes a factor. But anyway, I'll join you guys in just a second, and we're going to take a long look at how Manchester City get on back in the Championship and see if this time they can avoid getting relegated. Okay guys, so it's now 2020, Manchester City here now in, what is this, the 5th season since we were in charge, the 6th year of this experiment. Interesting to note, Rosler's still in charge, so that's a good sign for them. The financial status is rich, so that'll be interesting to see how that came about. So we'll take a look at their squad here. Now, actually, you can see they've got a few weird players on quite big wages. They've got Mandzukic playing in the Championship for them, which is a little bit bizarre. Of course, all the players we put on ludicrous money have now jumped ship and left, so they can finally start to maybe build a team, Manchester City. So Mandzukic becoming part of that. If we look at their club details just real quick, you can see, look at the finances, really healthy. I think that'll be down to the way that the game handled all the wages before. It probably stacked up a lot of money in advance for the players on millions of pounds a week, and then when those contracts came to an end, there was still a lot of money left in the bank that the game had given Manchester City to help them cope with kind of the financial situation that they were under. But anyway, let's have a look at how they got on in the league. And looking at it here, they finished 6th, so they lost in the playoffs, it would seem. Leeds winning the overall playoffs. Let's have a look at how Manchester City got on. Kind of cool to see that they bounced back quite well and that they made it to the playoffs this year. If we look at it, they lost to Leeds and they lost on penalties after it went 5-5 on aggregates. A heartbreak there in the shootout. Zuccolini missing the important penalty for them. So that's heartbreaking. If we look at the transfer history, you can see here they spent £9.3 million on players. Mandzukic joined from Arsenal for 350k. They also signed a few fairly pricey players. They brought in Jamie Patterson from Forest. They brought in Andre Blake, goalkeeper from MLS, from Philadelphia Union. And a few other players there who are slightly familiar. On the outs, of course, they released all the basically dodgy players that I signed for no apparent reason. They also sold Rekic for £2.8 million. So if we look at their history overall, of course they finished 6th this year, so a good start in the Championship. Going to be pushing perhaps for promotion back into the Premier League now, Man City. I don't feel like I did a good enough job ruining them, but if we look at it here, you can see their facilities were upgraded. Andre Blake was appointed vice captain at the start of the year. Jack Watmore? Watmore? Yeah, I guess it is Watmore. I don't know. Answers on a postcard. I guess it is. Who knows? It doesn't matter, does it, really? He's the captain or vice captain. Is he captain? Yeah, he's captain. That's quite crazy. Signed him from Pompey for £1 million. So quite a big transfer there. Micah Richards removed as captain. Heartbreak for him. He's still at the club, though. He does look quite bitter in his photo about the fact that he was stripped of his title, I guess you could say. But anyway, what I'm going to do now, guys, is obviously I'm going to wrap up this episode here. If you've enjoyed, smash the like button. But from now onwards, I'm going to do single kind of periods in time into the future per episode. So next episode, I'm going to do 2025. So it'll be 5 years in the future, and we'll review the last 5 years. It'll be a little bit briefer, but what I'm going to do at the end of this series is I'm going to attach a number of saves from this save game in a big zip folder that you can extract and open up in your own game and take a look at any nitty-gritty details you want to see for yourself. So yeah, I'll join you next time for 2025 and kind of a 5-year review. Hopefully I'll see you guys then. If you've got any comments with regards to this save, let me know down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.